Hey guys, it's water time because it's late and I really don't want to have caffeine at this point because I think that it'll keep me up forever because I'm already having problems readjusting my sleep schedule ever since Diablo. Ever since Diablo, it's just been a nightmare trying to get myself to go to bed at a time that is even remotely reasonable. So no caffeine tonight. None. I was going to record this earlier when I recorded my actual news episode, but I was like, well, I'm going to wait until after the podcast just in case the podcast is ridiculous, which of course it was. Uh, by the way, I feel so bad about how much we changed the time on that. It was disorganized from the get-go because none of us realized that TB wasn't going to be able to host it until last night, which was a problem. So we were just like, okay. Well, but it turned out we couldn't do it at the normal time. We couldn't do it at noon today. So we were like, okay, when can we do it? Let's do it at 3. 3 o'clock works out fine. We're all free. It's going to be great. So then today, we tweeted that out. It's going to happen at 3. And realized that TV was streaming at 3. And we were like, so in the interest of allowing people to watch TV as well as the podcast, we were like, okay, now do we switch it to tomorrow or do we do it after TV's stream? And I said, well, we shouldn't do it after TV's stream because it's going to be really hard for the European audience. It's already going to be, rough on everybody that's ahead of us, but specifically, like, our European audience isn't going to be able to watch. So we were like, all right, we'll do it tomorrow. And then it turns out that Husky, the Red Bull thing that's going on in Texas, he has to leave a day earlier than he thought. So he's leaving tomorrow morning for that. So he wouldn't be here. And we were like, well, can we find somebody else to be a guest this short of notice? And we couldn't find anybody. And we were like, okay. So then we finally just decided, all right, okay, 7 o'clock. We're doing it at 7 o'clock. We'll keep an eye on TB's stream, make sure that he's not still streaming at that point, and then we'll do the podcast late. But every single time I had to tweet something out being like, we changed it again, I was like, I am so sorry, was the subtext of every single word, because I was just like, oh my gosh. I know it's frustrating. And I know that it's not that big of a deal because the podcast goes up on YouTube later, but I don't know. I still felt really bad. It's like, ridiculous. The podcast is so fun. I love doing the podcast so much. The second TB is not involved and it's all disorganized, I was like, what is happening? Worst. 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 But it all went okay. The stream died 3 times because our internet you have to remember 3 out of the 4 of us were in the same house. Our internet died 3 times in a row, like right when we were trying to wrap it up, and we were like, terrible. Worst ever. We did talk about gaming stuff. Everybody was like, you guys were off topic the whole time. I was like, no, we weren't. No, we actually, talked about games. Yeah, we talked about Diablo. I wanted so badly for us to not talk about Diablo very much, but we all wound up talking about it. Not as much as I expected, but we did wind up talking about it. And I was like, oh, dang it. Sorry, guys. And Dynasty Warriors. Oh, I love Dynasty Warriors. It's the best. Now I want to play Dynasty Warriors. Dynasty Warriors is one of those games that I have played for so many years now that, I don't know, there's a lot of nostalgia associated with them. I just love it. Those games are the best. And if you don't like those games, I totally understand. But they're great. Just my personal feelings is that they are fantastic. I'm about halfway through the 2nd season of Adventure Time. And it's awesome. My friend Shane found out that I love this show and he drew a little me with a coffee cup and it says coffee time. It's so cute. And I keep being like, I want to use this somewhere. I don't know where I can use it though. It's so cute. I just love it. I've looked at it so many times and being like, oh, this thing is adorable. I don't know. I love the art style of Adventure Time. It's so simple. Like, it's so easy to mimic, but it's just really cute. Everything in that show is really cute. You cannot convince me otherwise. Let's see. Is there anything that I was actually going to talk about today? All of that just kind of like bleh. But, yes, announced on news that I'm quitting my day job. No, that does not mean that I am not going to be in TGS stuff anymore. I didn't realize that that's what it would sound like. I'm not, obviously, I'm still doing the podcast. I'm still going to be in TGS stuff. All that stuff, these are all things that I've done for fun this whole time. Like, none of this was my job. The stuff that I do at TGS for my job is like analytics stuff. So not doing that just means I will have more time during the day to make my stuff, to make my videos, and yeah, still gonna be as involved in videos and things. I'm still gonna be in LA doing all that same stuff. I just won't be going to that part of my life. Won't be happening anymore, which I'm kind of okay with. My job is kind of obsolete at this point as well. It's a job that they don't need a person doing. So it seemed like a really good time. It was kind of like I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? This is good. This is good timing. Now that we've grown to the point that my job isn't necessary, it's like, might as well peace out then. See if I can do this YouTube thing. And if it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't, I'll become a barista. What? Just like everybody else that I graduated from college with. Working at Starbucks? Awesome. I work at the one down the street. Fantastic. Brethren for life. I feel like every theater major works at a Starbucks. Or as a waitress. But I think a lot of them are starting to be drawn to the barista life. Making all damn coffees. Which I'm super okay with. Did I ever tell you guys that I worked at a coffee shop for a couple of days? I did. Literally a couple of days because I knew the owner of a coffee shop in my hometown really well. And I was just going to college and I was like, yeah, I really want to apply for a job at the on-campus coffee place. And she said, oh, well, if you want, I can give you I can give you a couple of days worth of work experience. I'll teach you how to make all of the basic drinks. And then you can put in a resume that says that you worked here. And if they call me, I'll say that you worked here. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So that all happened. I definitely did all of that. And it was really fun. I really liked making drinks a lot. And it was cool because the lady that I was friends with that was helping me out, she was a big advocate for not shortchanging people. So if I made a drink and there was like, like that much space from the top of the drink to the top of the lid, she'd be like, okay, either add in more milk or drink that and make a new one because you're not gonna give that person a drink that is not filled. And I was like, all right, coffee justice, I feel you. I feel you. I see what's happening right now. That was really fun though. We used to go there all the time. Like, all the time. I actually had a class that happened there too. Man. Yeah. Sometime, man. Actually, I think I've told you guys about my 6 a.m. class that I used to have. That class. Dudes, my senior year of high school was balls. It was balls. It was me going to my advanced English class at a coffee shop at 6 in the morning, which should have been great. No, it really wasn't. I mean, it was fine, but it was 6 in the morning. I don't want to do that at 6 in the morning. And the teacher didn't like me. It was dumb. It was a dumb part of my high school life. But I feel like most of the subtext in the conversations with that teacher were, how did you get into this class? And me going, I don't know. Yeah. Advanced English. I was really good at writing papers. I was not very good at doing my homework. This is a short form of the story. Anywho. Not in this sense anymore, whatever. Bringing it back around, again, I'm really sorry we changed the time on the podcast so much. I should never be put in charge of things. I have a very disorganized brain, and the second somebody says, oh, by the way, you're in charge of this now, I am a really chill person. If you try to put me in charge of a project, it is anxiety city. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what are we doing? What's even happening? Like, I can't process it very well. So, don't ever put me in charge of things. Everything goes wrong. But I'm glad that it all worked out. And I hope if you watched it that it was at least mildly entertaining. And I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Mwah.